Oh man, y'all ain't ready for this. Studio in the house. Hello, my name is Dante Swayback, but my friends call me Frosty. And welcome to the evening news. But this is a different kind of news. We delve into the news that the common man deals with, that touches the heart and soul of the everyday man. And so I'm going to bring you some news from a local factory that we shall leave unnamed. Oh man, y'all ain't ready for this. Studio in the house. That's right. Alright, turn me up in my headphones. That's just because all the rappers say that. In this factory, reliable sources say the steward at large, Elvin Handy, is on the take. And when we interviewed this reliable source to ask them what is it that makes them say that he is on the take, and they were talking about how he had started back buying these expensive silk shirts that he wears to work. Keep taking me for granted, man, it's just gonna stop. I'm about to go cereal snap, crackle and pop. All these rappers in the game, man, you just don't know that I stay coordinated from head to toe. From my do-rag shirt and down to my boots. Now these rappers pulling guns, but I ain't gonna shoot no guns, man, it's real and people could die. Trying to show his muscle and his gut area. He's got a lot going on, but these are expensive shirts and people want to know, how is it that he can afford such expensive shirts on his salary? So the reliable sources let us know he must be on the take. Well, I pretty much knew I was gonna be a studio gangster years ago. I think I was like ahead of my time, cause I stayed G'd up. I stayed G'd up, and a lot of them couldn't understand that. Cause I stayed coordinated. I'm always coordinated, as you see the do-rag and the shirt, everything got to match. That's the guy. I'm the fashionable gangster. That's kind of how I get down with it. And all right, let me put my ad-libs on her. I run stop signs. That's gangster. I get smart with my mama. That's gangster. And so you heard it here first. Elliot Davis stole that from me, but I'm just not. I'm not trying to be on the major networks. It's not that I couldn't cut it. I just prefer to be on public access where anybody can get the real news and everything. But even some of the OGs, they recognized that at an early age. They was kind of like, they look at me, when I come rolling through with my gangster pimp strut, how I do, you know what I'm saying? And they was like, hey man, you gonna be a studio gangster one day. And I look back at him and I'm like, you got that right, you know what I'm saying? And in other news, as we look at some of the public schools, a young man by the name of Domino, let me get this right. Domino Livet has got kicked out of yet another school. So let's stop here for a moment and talk to the parents. Parents, if your son is like this Domino character who just continues to get kicked out of school after school, it's time to get back to the old days with tough love. A lot of people act like there's a difference between a real G and an SG. For y'all don't know that language, a real gangster and a studio gangster. Some folks act like it's a big difference or something like that, but it's really no difference. I mean, cause the real gangsters, they out there, shooting, selling dope, gang banging, they doing all of that, and me, I write about it and talk about it in the studio. I'm not out there doing it, but I'm laying it down in the studio. So I mean, they doing it, I'm talking about it. It's kind of all the same. So when people talk about it's a difference, I really don't see it.
You know, I just really don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I think they just hate us for real.
Now, I'm sure this father is probably, every time the teachers call him in for a conference, I can just imagine, since he's gotten kicked out of 4 schools, I can just imagine what the father is doing when he goes up to the school. Now, we don't have actual video footage, so we'll have to go with something else to show you how we feel that the meeting went down whenever this father went up to the school to talk to the teachers. So this is our reenactment of what happened when the teachers called Domino's father up to the school to let him know that he's being expelled and sent to yet another school. For the up and coming little SGs, I would just say keep it real in the studio. You know, don't mess around out in them streets, because them folks ain't playing out there or whatever, you know. So you do what you got to do to lay low in the streets, but when you get in the studio, you let it fly. You don't play around with it. You let them know what's on your mind, what's on your heart. And if, you know, somebody decide they want to test you and see if you about what you writing about, if you about that studio life out in the streets, you let them know, nah, not for real. That's just, you know, that's just something I'm doing in the studio. So, you know, just try and calm them down a little taste, you know, try and see if y'all can be friends or something like that. Because, you know, they taking it too serious. Excuse me, Mr. Levitt. I hate to call you away from your job. Yeah, y'all always calling me and, you know, spreading all these lies on Domino. So I wonder, why is it everybody hating on Domino? Domino don't do nothing to nobody. Well, Mr. Levitt, I'm sorry, that is not true. We have witnesses. He's always being disruptive in class. That's what they said at other school. They was lying on him. They always lying on my baby. So, I hope you enjoyed yourself being in the studio with Studio, you know, and just go buy my album when it comes out, you know, you know, self-titled SG. You know, triple OG, triple, you know, all of that. They know me out on the streets. I'm just saying. So, you know, this is SG signing off. Mr. Levitt, are you okay? It's just so hard that they always lying on Domino. Domino ain't never hurt nobody. Domino just want to go to school. Mr. Levitt, I'm sorry that this hurts you and that you're crying and everything, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Security! Hold up, man. Get that camera off me.